Hi everyone, welcome back on Study Room, and I hope that you all are doing fine. So let's continue our chapter. In this video, we will discuss the second part of this chapter, second theme, which is poverty across the world, across the states and the world. I'm so sorry. Okay, so poverty across the states and the world. Yes, let's discuss poverty across the states and the world. Okay. Um, Up till now, we were discussing all poverty aspects in just Indian, in just India. But now we will discuss this problem globally. Okay, because this problem does not it's not just present in India. There are many other countries who have similar problem. Okay, so let's start. Okay, first we'll talk about an Indian reference in the interstate disparities. Okay, first we'll discuss Indian states and then we'll move to world. So again, in India we have several states, and it is not necessary that every state has same poverty rates. No, every states have different poverty rates. Okay, because the portion of poor people is different in various states, and the differentiation of such have various reasons. Okay, so yes, although the poverty is dangerous, so we have used red color here. So you can see the darker side where the where the red is in extreme dark are the areas, Bihar, UP, all other areas where poverty rates are high. Okay, and where the this red dark have become like little lightish pink, other areas which have less. For example, here you can see in Kerala it's lighter, right? So let's understand it more deeply. Now, this is the data that we have from 2011 census. It's a poverty ratio in select Indian states. Okay, so these are the poverty ratio in accordance of Indian states. So we have the data of Bihar, Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, and all other states and union territories. Okay, here high bar, by being high means here, bar being high means the poverty level is high in this area. Okay, it's high. And for example, let's talk about Kerala. So poverty level is low here. Okay, means number of people who are poor are less here, and as compared to Bihar, number of people who are poor or lies under poverty line are the rates are high in Bihar. Okay, so yes, so some states have reduced poverty more significantly. There are states who were poor, but now when we consider their data, which has improved, and these states are Punjab and Haryana. Punjab and Haryana, and the reason of their poverty level being decreased is that they have high agriculture growth rate. Okay, so these states having high agriculture growth rate is very essential, because this gives employment to people, and ultimately it leads to people having work and having a proper food in their plate and whatever nutrition that they require. Right. And the second point here is human resource development in Kerala. Okay, so Kerala is one of the leading countries which have human resource development, and all other type of development, be it majorly related to software or IT development, we call it, are there in Kerala. That's why there is more employment, and the education rate is the highest in Kerala. That is one of the sole reasons that more people in Kerala are employed. Okay, and do not lie under poverty line. Okay, so second reason is human resource. Third is implementation of land reforms. Now, land changes, reformation of land have been made in West Bengal, uh, due to which the poverty rate has, the poverty ratio has been better in West Bengal. Okay. And in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, the main reason is that administration or the government public distribution of food grains. The government or the administration donates lot of food grains to the people and other essential commodities to the people. That's why in Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, the poverty rate is comparatively low. Okay, so now whatever you have understood till now, you'll have to answer these questions. First is based on state-wise graph, which we have studied in previous slides. Identify the three states where the poverty ratio is highest. So let's go back and find out three states which have poverty ratio high. If you remember this already, then that's good for you. If you don't, you can see the map. First is definitely Bihar, second is Odisha, third is Assam. Okay, Madhya Pradesh is almost same. So these three or four states which have higher poverty rates. Now, let's discuss question number two, which is based on state-wise paragraph, identify three states where poverty rate is lowest. Means where number of people who are poor are less as compared. So again, let's go back and find out the lowest states. Okay. So here, if we see Kerala is on lower, Himachal, Punjab. Okay, so majorly, let's take these three states being lowest poverty ratio. All right. Now we'll discuss this problem in in a global scenario, in a global problem. So every country has their own poverty line, and the reasons of which we have discussed in the previous video. Okay, here as well, a global poverty is something which has been considered a problem globally. Okay, so World Bank for Global has defined extreme poverty as a person living less than $1.90 per day. Okay, that the expense of the person is less than $1.90. The person falls under the category of poverty. Okay, so now this again, the data have been improved, which means that the proportion which was like in 1990 it was 36% has fallen down to 10% in 2015. The data has been improved, but still if we count in numbers, there's still a lot of people who needs upliftment. Okay, so now let's see, according, since we are seeing it globally, so let's see according to reference of other countries. Okay, first we have Nigeria. Okay, Nigeria have the highest poverty rates, means the number of poor people here are more, and this is according to the 2018 data. Then Bangladesh, India also have, Pakistan, and the least we have here is Sri Lanka according to 2016 data. Okay, now although there have been substantial reduction in global poverty, if we see it globally, the numbers have reduced. Earlier it was 36%, until 2015 it was 10%. So obviously if we see numbers have decreased, has reduced, and has marked a great regional differences. Okay, so but still if we see in terms of number of people, it is still accordingly high. Now when we see this in a global spectrum, what are the causes of poverty? Okay, why, what happens, regional disparities, what is the reason for poverty being there on regional basis? Okay, so first is impact of colonial policies on industry. Yes, so colonial, there is a period which is known as colonial, um that's a, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll write it again. Okay, so there is a period known as colonial period. Okay, in history, when we study this colonial period, okay, and what was there in this period? In this period, the colonies were setting up. Okay, means for example, people were coming over from different places and setting up colonies in different areas, and making their people do the work, capturing capturing it. For example, like Britain did it in India. They set up colonies, they made our people slaves and did not allow our country to rise, to develop, right? So colonies were not just set up in India, it was set up in many other countries by the dominating countries. Okay. So this was the impact of colonial period on industry, and they, for the longest time, they have not allowed to use resources. They have exhausted, is the word, they have exhausted our resource. Okay, so everything has happened in colonial periods to suppress, okay, to suppress. So that's why one major cause is colonies policy being set up and colony policy on the industry. Okay. Next is limited impact of green revolution. Yes, so revolution have been made, attempt to bring change and bring amendments in the spectrum have been made, but their impact have been limited. So that's again become one of the more and core reason for it. Okay. Next is unequal distribution of land. Yes, just unequal distribution of land or unequal distribution of resources is a point that we have discussed. So unequal distribution means, so continuing with the example, we have one person Suresh, we have one person Ram. So this Ram has less money and Suresh has more than required. Okay, and this is basically the result of unequal distribution of resources. Okay, so these are major causes of poverty. Now, let's discuss features of high poverty rates. So, in the area which have high poverty rates, what are the features? What are the reasons for it? First is income inequality. Okay, for example, let's take example of Bihar. So, income inequality means that, for example, labor being paid extremely less, and let's consider an industrialist being paid extremely high. Okay, so it's a huge income inequality that's there. Second, it's unequal distribution of resources. Again, for many other reasons, there are unequal distribution of resources that we problem of unequal distribution of resources that we face in our country, due to many reasons, due to social reasons, and due to vulnerable groups being suppressed, and social exclusion. Okay. Third point here is indebtedness due to high expenditure. Okay, going in debt means taking lot of loan and being taking a heavy burden of money. Okay, so some states have indebtedness due to high expenditure because their expenditure are high, because the amount of money they spend is higher than the amount of money they earn. Okay, on agriculture and input, on other inputs. So maybe if a person has invested so much on agriculture, be it in their resources, be it technology, be it all the material that is required in agriculture sector, but the output is not that much. Okay, so that is again one of a core reason. Next is expenditure on socio-cultural obligation. Yes, again, so social culture itself is a very big topic to discuss upon, as we did in previous slides. Social culture obligation is a part of our culture from so long, and so that is why social culture obligations become reason of lower caste not being able to earn well, right? That's about it in this video. I hope you understand whatever being conveyed in it. So continue. I will continue the chapter in next video.